Thank you. Oh, look at you.
Hello, everybody. We're already drinking, so I'm hoping joining us here very quickly for another one of the virtual cheese and beer class. We have a great panel here tonight. Of course, some of the familiar faces and some new ones as well. And definitely right now, I would like to introduce Kenny Ichimaru from Bin Sabash. He's going to guide us through the beers. And then, of course, we got Caroline, our cheesemonger. And we have the Kurt Nerds, Maritza and Janelle tonight. So
Hi.
not the whole team, but half the team. And myself. Welcome and good evening. So first up, have a cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. And this is not a drinking game, so no, I'm just kidding.
Yes, it is.
All right, so we're going to talk about a few cheeses tonight. The first one, of course, a nice, beautiful French Cantal with a lot of history, and I'm going to pick it up for you right over here. We got that right to left or left to right. Then the next one, we have a Ramtaler, something very special out of Switzerland. So we have France, Switzerland, we have Holland, and we have Austria. So this one is the Ramtaler from Switzerland. Over here, we have a really nice aged Bornkaas Gouda. And that one, of course, is from Holland. As you can see, really nicely aged right now. So this one is about 28 months of age. And then last not least, the Hay Rebel. Right over here, the Hay Rebel with these beautiful hay flowers on the outside. And then also, of course, we have some prosciutto, and we have a really nice salami from Smoking Goose. Maritza?
Yeah, it's actually the saucisson rouge.
Saucisson rouge from Smoking Goose. All right, so, okay. We're going to start talking about the beers first. So, Kenny, why don't you talk about the beers right now?
So kind of give you a quick short, I think a lot of these beers that we picked inadvertently were perfect summer beers. We picked our classic Kolsch from Riesdorf. Then we have our local brewery. They make a wonderful Pilsner called Excited State. These guys are doing and love this Pilsner. So nice and refreshing. And then we figured a little bit of fruit beer, kind of similar to what I guess you could say a Radler, but a little bit more higher proof at about 7%. And brought a nice little hazy IPA for you from Almanac, which I'm a big fan of also. And kind of, like I said, just really nice and light, refreshing summer beers to go with these beautiful cheeses.
Perfect. Well, we chose the Kölsch, okay, Kölsch, city of Cologne, or the Köln, with the Cantal, okay, which is, of course, the first cheese. And then we took the Pilsner with the Ramtaler, the Bornkaas with the grapefruit work, and the IPA with the Hay Rebel. But again, our tastes are different than yours, so please try, sample, zip, and have more beer. All right, so let's talk about the Kolsch.
So kind of a good way to start our tasting off is a nice little classic beer from Köln. So where basically Kolsch is started to the classic brewery. They've been around since 1894. They're family owned and operated. This is only 4.8%. So super crisp and clean lagering style beer. So kind of the nice part about this is that we have 2 lager beers and 2 ales.
Okay.
I don't know how you would like to start this tasting.
Well, let's. We talked about the Kölsch. So, Caroline, you want to talk about
Yes,
the Cantal?
I'm going to talk about the Cantal. So the first one, the Cantal, this one. So, like you said, it's a very old cheese. it was cited by Pliny the Elder in this work, Natural History in France, back over 2,000 years. It's a very large wheel, weighs about 70 to 99 pounds.
Oh yeah, we got them.
So he received the PDO in 2007. So the Cantal is the unique cheese by its name because it bears the name as the department is located in South Central France. So the Cantal is named the green region. So the cows are grazing in those beautiful pasture and fodder, and they graze all summer long. And as soon, I mean, it's good weather for the cows, they graze outside.
Usually about what, 120 days
Yes.
throughout the summer where they're grazing?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, and so yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing we could say, the Cantal is, I would say, in France, the closest to a cheddar for the process. That the technique, it's called the double pressing. So in fact, you know, when the curds start, when they start to make the curds and they weigh they drain the whey. So the curds, they start to press with a cheese press a little bit, and then after that, they churn or grounded those curds and put it in the mold and press again, and then very unique technique that they use for centuries over in France. You could find, especially in France, three types of Cantal. The Cantal jeune, that the youngest, is between 30 and 60 days. You find another one, that name is Entre deux, which is aged between 19 and 210 days. So that's the one we're going to have tonight. And there's the last one is we call the Vieux Cantal, which is the oldest one. It's aged over 8 months. The thing I could say also that they use the Cantal to make a famous dish named aligot in France. So if you ever go to France, please, and especially in that region, have the aligot. It's pretty much mashed potatoes, and they add the butter, a little bit of pepper, and the thing is, it's beaten very hard and to make, you know, the mashed potatoes very creamy, and that's about it.
Okay. The Cantal received the
It was in 1956.
and then also what does AOC stand for?
So the AOC means that it stands with the technique, and that when they say AOC, they have to follow, you know, all the rule. You know, it's the technique that they use, you know, the double pressing and everything. It's the AOC, that means it's the guarantee you have a cheese with the right technique, with also all the, you know, the cows are grazing for, you know, at least 120 days or the whole year, and there's a specific fodder they eat, and everything. Everything is written down, and you have to follow that to get that AOC. And of course, it's even it's recognized in the entire world. So the Cantal only could be made in the Cantal region in France, and as I follow all the rule I said earlier. And you cannot make Cantal over in United States or in Italy or anywhere else than in Cantal region.
Okay. Also, of course, just to give you a little insight, Pliny the Elder was a Roman author, a naturalist, and a natural philosopher. He also was a naval commander and army commander during the early Roman Empire. So it's a very old cheese, obviously 2,000 years plus. And so definitely try it with the Kolsch and then give us feedback on that. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
What meat would you pair with the beer, actually?
Because
they're all so lovely. Like it's a hard one.
Try it. Okay. I
I'm
mean,
not even sure where to start.
I prefer the saucisson rouge. Okay. Saucisson rouge is produced by Smoking Goose. Typical pork sausage, but it has liver and heart in it. Okay. And then some red wine. So it's kind of an interesting little salami there. Okay.
I've had that one.
So yeah, you got to try it.
Mhm.
Ladies.
Please.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Same on this side. No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
Yay. So far, me and Janelle have come up with the Cantal. Actually, pair really, really nicely together. The Kolsch and Cantal, like the Cantal by itself is a little bit salty, so the beer kind of mellows that out, and also the beer kind of. What did you say about the beer?
For me, it was bitter. So when I ate the Cantal, it took away bitterness from the beer,
Yeah.
and it was really good together.
And then the after note, like the after that I was saying, was you still got the creaminess, you still got the flavor of the cheese, and you still both were still kind of mingling together even after you swallowed.
Good observation.
Yeah, that was really lovely. That was a lovely
Yeah,
pairing.
that's for summertime.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It would be definitely, and Köln being so close to the French border, it definitely was right away a given. Even we're opposite ends of, obviously the Cantal is made in the southern region of France, and Köln being right there in that corner between Belgium, Holland, and France, and then of course it goes in the Rhine Valley.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting, unique experience going into the town of Köln and drinking a typical Kölsch. And yes, it is a little bitter. They're using more hops in it.
Just a slight bit of hops on it for sure. I mean, but it's like, as opposed to other beers, especially with lagering style beers, technically they're always just going to be softer for the palate. But that's why it's kind of a great pairing. This is actually, the sausage is fantastic.
I thought it was going really well with it, and we actually switched in the last minute from to the saucisson rouge away from the gin and juice, and I think it was working out just perfect. No,
This is really fun.
good. All right. The next one is the next cheese we have is a Ramtaler. Ramtaler. I'm getting yelled at by Brian.
Oh,
There we go. Hello.
He's making sure everyone sees behind him that what cheese it is.
Okay, so Ramtaler. Ramtaler is an Emmental. Yeah, it's
We're switching the beer.
yeah, we're switching the
I
beer.
guess you got to go out with the
Sorry about
with
that.
the old now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Here we go.
Cheers.
And
about
this
that.
is how it starts. I see how you guys.
You see?
I'm jealous that you guys taste like this. This is the first time I've been invited to this, so I'm excited.
It's fun.
Get a little rowdy and a little
Get a
bit.
little rowdy. One time we had to do it by the pool. So
That's right. You guys did a
thanks to Cox Cable, no internet.
Yeah. Well,
All right. So Emmentaler is the other Emmental. Okay, there is the Valley of Emmental in Switzerland, and it's quite a history on the Rahmtaler. So the wheel is roughly about 200 pounds. So look online, there's a picture of us killing it. And the Rahmtaler normally is 5 to 8 months when it's mild, nutty, creamy, sourly fresh, with a texture of fine and smooth and elastic creaminess to it. Okay, as it ages, the Rahmtaler Reserve gets actually better. To get back to explanation of Emmental, or the difference between Emmental and Rahmtaler. Rahmtaler is an Emmentaler, but they don't take the cream off. And this all dates back. It's been around, and they produced a lot of butter. They had a lot of extra butter. So because they're skimming off the fat to make the butter. So needless to say, they said, okay, good, let's go ahead and just use all the milk, okay, with the cream in it, because when you go to the grocery store, normally milk is about 3.25%, because they're taking actually the fat off, which is normally milk is 3.75%, okay, but when you have butter or and so forth with that. So on this one, it's actually a full fat content. There is nothing skimmed off, and they called it the Rahmtaler because it was much creamier than the Emmentaler. There is 3 major producers in Switzerland. There is Müller, is one of them. There is, of course, Emmy Rothkäse. And then last not least, Gourmino is the one that got 2 of the producers of the Rahmtaler together. And they're very strict about it, on who's allowed to be the milk that is produced for that. One is right am Bodensee, just south in Switzerland, in Igelheim. And the other one is a little bit further in the Emmental region. And 2 phenomenal cheesemakers, and I apologize. I don't have the names right now. But Gourmino was consolidating these artisan cheesemakers and started importing them into the US about 15, 20 years ago. So it's actually fairly new to the United States, but it's very recent. So let's take a piece of that. Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad.
You just didn't want to reach in front of us.
Fine. So
Cheers.
Salud.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, Baker.
Cheers.
Baker. Yay.
April Baker Brewing. Thank you.
Yeah,
Very
I
nice.
gotta get another.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What do you think?
So I guess I should start.
Let's start with the April Baker.
So the Able Baker beer, this Excited State just released actually in the past probably 2 months. I'm actually a big fan of this brewery. And a couple reasons why. Totally 100% homegrown. Manos actually back in 2011 see him out, and he would try it. Manos has been part of the industry for a long time. He was a local bartender at the Hard Rock and done so many other things, and just a genuinely great guy. Brought on a partner named Randy, and they've done this amazing thing, and just recently opened up a brewery downtown on Main, I believe. And not only that, though, they brought an amazing brewer by the name of Matt Marino on board, and he has been in Vegas for a long time. He's worked for Joseph James. He actually worked with Big Dogs with Dave Otto, another original brewer that was basically brewing in Vegas for a long time, and they've done some amazing things. And I think it's really hard to make a Pilsner. And so I think a lot of breweries technically stay away from it, but the fact that they did it and they did it such a great job, I'm super excited for them to have this. This is actually one of my favorite beers currently right now. And obviously for the summertime, it's super crisp and clean. It's only 5%, which goes a long way because you can have a couple of them and not feel like you're drinking too much. But you can enjoy it with the beautiful cheeses that they have paired.
Okay. We just had the pleasure of going over and taking my daughter and her husband went down, and we actually went down on last Saturday, April. Had several of their beers. Excellent. Very enjoyable. The food was fantastic. The service was great, and the people was just, it was super. Very good experience, and we're very proud to have Able Brewery here. Absolutely. All the local. That's the biggest thing for us, is that we can promote them because they're another local company.
It's kind of nice to have our community is growing over the past couple of years with a lot of amazing breweries, and especially in downtown area. It's getting started, which is exciting for all of us. The cool thing about Able Baker also, they have a kitchen. So if you're ever hungry, they do have a wonderful kitchen. It's actually provided by a local restaurant called 595. It's owned and operated by Ben, who's also now a local in town. But yeah, it's super cool to see that the brewing community is really taking a bigger stance and doing great things in town here. And it's Main Street's only just going to get bigger and better. So I'm super stoked to see some local breweries. And, I'm sure at some point or another, they're probably going to have some of these amazing cheeses too, which is exciting because makes it a lot easier for your day to have a little bit of bites and beer.
Cheese and beer? Come
Can't
on,
go wrong.
it's better than that. Cheese, beer, and charcuterie, and all the thing missing now is a pretzel.
Ooh.
We should have had the pretzel.
Ooh, why didn't we bring
Oh,
one?
man.
I'm sorry. We didn't
Pretzel.
think about it.
Oh,
You got a pretzel.
Do we want a pretzel?
You could have used a beer to make the pretzel because you could have actually
We could have-
for us a base
I got to talk to somebody in regards of that.
pretzel.
Beer cheese soup.
Beer, cheese
Beer
soup?
cheese soup would be really,
Oh,
really
yes.
good with that.
That sounds amazing.
And
Able
then you
Baker?
dunk, and then you
Beer
dunk,
cheese soup.
you dunk
Yeah.
your pretzel in there.
See?
Yeah, nothing better than a cheese sauce with your pretzel. We want a pretzel?
It's fine. It's fine. It's
Are you
fine.
sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?
You're not gonna
Anyone out there get a pretzel?
A lot of people got pretzels.
Who got a pretzel? Tell me about it.
Oh, what's
Um,
included in the back?
I would also pair this probably on onion soup.
On top, to melt it on top.
Mhm.
They have your little gratin
Oh, yeah.
on top.
Mhm.
That'd be really nice. Even I could put chunks inside just to get a little bit of that elasticity
Ooh.
going on, little cheesiness.
That
That'd be
would
nice.
be nice.
That'd be really nice.
Ooh, let's make
Next
onion
soup.
Next soup.
Next
That's
soup.
about our weekly
Guys,
soups.
feedback. We
Daily
want
soups.
French onion soup with,
Ram tala.
well, that would be kind of nice. Yep.
You should have got a pretzel. Tristan said he wants to cook for us.
Tristan. who's
Let me cook
Tristan?
for you, cured Whey. All
Oh,
right.
come on over. We bring
Come
you
on.
in. Absolutely.
Mhm.
We
Bring
put
the
you
smoke.
to work.
Mhm.
Just kidding. We don't want no smoke.
Who's wanting
Yeah,
to
no
cook it?
smoke.
Tristan wants to cook
Tristan?
with us.
He wants to cook.
Okay, the big thing about the Emmental region, okay, it's Switzerland is kind of unique. You have France to the north and west, and then on the bottom you have Italy, okay, and then you have Austria on the east, and then Germany for a small section up here on the northeast. And you have the Bodensee dividing the country from Austria, Germany, and Switzerland. Very beautiful area, a lot of hills. Not quite in the Alpine region. We call it more the foothills of the Alpine region. And they call it Blümlisalp, okay, which means blooming Alp. Springtime, it starts to, the grasses are grown. In the higher region, the farmers are bringing the cattle out. All these cheeses tonight that we're doing are actually raw milk cheeses and no silage being fed. So it's very important, okay? Obviously, we don't have to worry about it. They're aged over 60 days and more. And they're very selected on the quality of the cheeses. The Ramtaler right now, I would say, is probably about 22 months. Okay, maybe 24, right around there. And it was a nice experience.
Yeah.
because I made the mistake. I took it right out of the cooler and then started breaking it down in the back kitchen. So yeah, so it was gonna, yeah. But Blümlich's Alp, impressive mountain massif in the Bernese Oberland. Okay, all part of the Emmental region. The affinage on this cheese is the cheese is made, and then it stays in the production facility. The two production facilities that there are, both of one is already since 1925, and the other one has been producing the same cheese for 150 years. Okay, so the family is since 1925. So 3 generations of family when they took over the milk house, making the production of the creamery. Okay, so, and then the other one, of course, 150 years later, and just absolutely spectacular people. Obviously, the cheesemaker kind of younger now, but on the Igeshauser, it's the same family for the last 80 years. So that's kind of interesting that you take over the farm and the milk collection station, and that's where you make these cheeses. So they're making these cheeses, and then they're holding on to it for 3 months, and then the affineur comes in, and he takes certain bites out of cheeses. There's a little tool that looks like a long straw. They stick it in the cheese, and they take it out. They smell it. They taste it. How creamy is it? How aged is it? And then when they put it back in, they close it with a little bit of wax on the outside. So next time you look for your cheese, and you find a little hole about this big in there, that looks like, hey, somebody put a worm in there. No, it's actually where the cheesemaker often takes the piece of the sample out to taste it. Okay, and then they're bringing the cheeses to the cave, where the cheese is then aged 15, 18 months. And then, of course, we're shipping to the United States. There's another 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how it goes. And then now we can bring that to you. All right.
Want me to help you?
Come on,
I'll
Janelle.
help you.
What would you like?
I'm on the next cheese already.
No.
I need to eat it.
No.
Next
Okay.
cheese is the Born Kaas.
Here we go. We have this beautiful aged born Kaas. And like I said before, this is about 20 months. And you see right on the crystals on the inside, it's absolutely spectacular. And it's Holland. So, Caroline, do you want to talk about it?
Of course, I would love to.
It goes with, oh, by the way, the beer for that, I'm sorry, the beer for that is the grapefruit Burgkopf. Okay, Burgkopf beer. Which it's kind of funny when you say it, because it really, for us Germans, it doesn't, or Europeans, it doesn't make sense, because Burg is actually the castle on the hill. Okay, and Kopf, obviously, the head.
Because I'm pretty sure that if I had to enunciate these properly, I'd get in trouble. It'd take me a while.
Oh, trust me.
Well, a couple beers is what you
You
told
give
me,
me,
right?
yeah, you
Couple
give me a
beers and
couple
I
more.
pronounce it.
Yeah, you give me a couple more beers. I sing Italian. Now I save you from that. Trust me. All right.
May I dump this
Yes,
for
please.
you?
In my mouth.
No. Good dump it. He needs a new one. How'd you like your pour there, Mr. Kenny?
Not bad from a distance.
Okay.
Are you there?
Thank you. All right.
So I guess I'm gonna talk about that Born Kaas, which is cheese from Holland, aged Gouda, for connoisseur, and it's a farmhouse Gouda. That means they make the cheese on the farm where they raise, where the cows are. So it's a big wheel. It depends on the farm. It could start about 10 pounds if they have like 1 or 2 or 3 cows, and the wheel could go up for about 200 pounds. So it could age for a minimum of 3 months, and it could goes up for about 3 years. So of course the age one got the crystal inside. So as you could see, those little thing. Thank you. You could see very clearly, those little white spots are the crystal inside the cheese. And
these are enzymes binding themselves together.
so yeah, it's an amino acid, and those crystals are called pyroxene. This is happening during the aging process.
So,
So to make that beautiful cheese, I would say it's like art, because the farmer and their family, they're caring for their own cows, and they put their love to make their cheeses and to aging those cheeses. Of course, the cheese, the more it's aged, it's difficult because they need to check, the affinage. It's an art. So they have to try and sample the cheese. Do that little hole we
Yep.
were talking earlier to
I'm going to
see.
get one of those tools so we can show it in the next
Yeah.
cheese class. That'd be cool. It's very interesting, the whole process. Literally, a lot of these cheeses, especially this particular one, is still made on the farm. It's rough. Oh, the meats are this one here is the saucisson rouge. Okay, so the small one. And then we also have this beautiful, look at this. Look at this.
Good job on them slices, Jamie.
Yep. Speck.
Speck? Yes. What speck?
So we chose the speck for this one because it has the other prosciutto.
Yeah, the other prosciutto.
Okay.
Nobody wants to
It's produced in the Alto Adige region, which is south of Austria and north of Italy. It's a very small region, and they're very well known for the speck. We call it also the Dolomite region or Alto Adige. Phenomenal skiing, incredible food, great wine, and always one of my favorite places to be. I had the pleasure when I was at a younger age, I was able to work for a winter season in Kovara, which is the ski resort in the Alto Adige region, and absolutely fantastic. And so between that and the Bornkaas, it is just absolutely delightful.
I'm sorry. Alive.
Meat's flying off.
There you go.
So good, it's just
More
flying
beer.
off.
More beer. So it's an absolutely stunning region. The reason why they call it the other prosciutto, the prosciutto is the whole leg. Okay, so it's roughly about yay big. And what they do is they take the bone out, they open it up, and they take the two side flaps and trim that off and use that in other ways for the production. So you have that big old, when you look at it, yeah, this is on my plate anyway. When you look at it, you see these two different parts right here. And the leg, this is out of the leg, the hind leg. Okay. And the two flaps and the bone would be sitting right here. So that's why this prosciutto, they measure it and they measure the fat content. They put exactly the right amount of salt and spices. And then it goes through an aging process. They're dry aging it for about 3 weeks. Every family has their own recipe on that. Then they're washing it, and then they're putting it in these really large warehouses, aging rooms. Okay, and it hangs there for 90 to 120 days. And they're at nighttime, they're opening up the shafts. During the daytime, it's like a process for about 2 weeks where they smoke it with beechwood. And then they're flying out the mountain air, cool mountain air at night. and then they're smoking it again in the daytime and flushing that out again at night. So that's a process over about 2 weeks. This one is produced by Rekla. There's many producers, but the most commonly known in the United States is Rekla and Müller, okay, or Sefner, excuse me, Sefner. They're doing a great job with it. In order to produce meat for the United States, it's a very lengthy process. It's a USDA inspection. It's quite expensive because you have to have these USDA inspectors for up to 2 weeks over there at your plant, looking at everything, looking at the procedures, the HACCP plans, making sure everybody's following high standards of cleanliness. And so it's not easy and it's not cheap. Okay, so that's why right now there's only 2 producers that are in the United States. So try it with the Bornkas, but it also goes really well when we go to the next one, the hay rubble. But it also goes good with the Ramtaler. So try it. Let us know what you think. What do you think about the pairing? Send us a note.
Kind of curious, what are the favorites so far? Yeah.
Ramtaler.
All right.
That's kind of interesting. I would have figured the Comté. I mean the
Cantal,
Cantal.
yeah, the Cantal is definitely.
I like
Yeah,
Christy likes it all.
I would just have this on a piece of bread.
Oh, yeah, you're kidding me. Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
a nice
like.
baguette.
You want some more?
Yes, please.
Which one?
The
Ramtaler?
around.
You want me to
No,
cut it?
actually, no. I want the one cost, please.
One cuss.
Yes,
Okay.
one.
So tell us about the Burkhoff beer
Oh,
that goes with this.
I think this is more short of an explanation than anything, because I think the reason why we kind of picked this for the Burkhoff to kind of a simple kind of a Radler. Obviously, this is 7%, so Radlers are typically around 4.5%, 5% max, which are typically, I believe. This is a little bit different. Obviously, they incorporate the fruits, so a little bit more higher octane, but kind of fun too. Really nice cool beer. But if you like mezcal, it's actually a little nice mezcal cocktail with a little floater of this goes away. I just like it because it's just super fruit forward and easy drinking, and given the pairing, like with a little bit of salt, it works really well. But yeah, something fun.
Normally, the Radler, with the easiest way to make one, what we did at home, is we take normally a Pilsner,
Oh, okay.
and we just take actually Sprite and put 2 parts of beer, 1 part of Sprite. Okay.
We're gonna have to try that.
You can, or you can also, if you want to go crazy, try that with beer. I mean, with
Sprite?
with Coca-Cola, where you take
Oh.
Coca-Cola, 1 part Coca-Cola and 2 parts of beer.
any kind of beer?
I've learned something new today because I have never tried that, but now I'm intrigued.
No,
I mean,
with-
try
with the
that. Yes,
Sprite,
you can-
Yeah, with the Sprite, we call that a panaché in France.
Yeah.
It's very popular.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sprite,
It is.
7-Up,
Yeah.
it's all the
Yeah.
same. Okay, it works very well. So
It's
try
cheaper
it
this
out.
time of the year.
Oh yeah,
Perfect.
right now for summertime, we're allowed to have a beer during lunch or a glass of wine, because quite honestly, I mean, over there we learned to drink very early on. I remember going to restaurants with my parents, being 12 years old, and we were allowed to get a sip of beer in a restaurant, as long as we were in a company of our parents or an adult, which is usually 18 years or older. So it's kind of really interesting. Why don't you say
Why
something?
couldn't you just pass it over?
I would have just
That
I
was
would have
really-
asked you. No, sorry, I'm slacking over here.
I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you
I
don't.
just wanted to try it with the grapefruit beer.
So I actually tried Mecca with. I took it home. I took a lot home.
This didn't even last in our store.
It didn't last. Somebody
Somebody
bought
bought
them.
cases.
I don't know if it was. Some of it was me. Somebody else. But yeah, totally not a good idea unless you're home. Just it's nice. It's very
You mean
nice.
it kicks you like a
It is
mule?
very nice. That's all I have to say. And lately, what I've been doing at home, So this beer for me is a little bit on the sweet side, so I do like to dilute it a little bit. You're not gonna kind of make like a beer cocktail with it, beer tail as I say. I mix that with just some Pellegrino or just some bubbly water and a couple more like orange bitters, super delicious lemon bitters, and that's my little like late night. Kind of get a little toasty, but just also getting my hydration in, which is great.
There you go. Water. I
Yeah, and then also, did you guys know that in Germany,
Go ahead.
while you're
Germany,
in Oktoberfest, water and beer cost the same amount of money.
So you just drink beer the
So
whole
you
time.
just drink beer.
Well,
And if you're a little bit already overboard with beer, you get the Radler,
Does it
right?
water? You have water
And
in it?
it's lemonade and beer. That's usually like that is your water while you're there, because at least you're still gonna get some flavor as opposed to just water for the same amount of price.
Repeat the Coke and beer.
Coke and beer.
okay, Coke and Bier Radler. So you take
This is a good one.
Coke. Okay, Travesti. No, you take Coca-Cola and you take 2 parts of beer. Okay, so it's awesome. It's really tasty, and it's very
What is it,
refreshing
1
for
part Coke?
summertime.
Yeah.
So between the Sprite and making it obviously lighter,
And then beer.
and the beer with the Coca-Cola, of course, making it darker. So nice, refreshing. So try it out at home.
One part Coke.
Somebody asked where the Berghoff is available. Did I read that right?
Here.
Yeah. So you can get it here.
$3. $3.50.
I mean, because it's perfect because you can get a pairing too, and you also get a show with the 2 girls on the side,
Yeah,
giving
exactly.
drink and everything. So here for that.
But yeah,
What kind of beer? Porter or stout or something?
The Berghoff?
It's a-
Is that what he's asking? So it's just
it's nice.
it's actually it's basically a Belgian ale, big, but I mean
Yeah, I like fruitiness. I think it's a very nice, very nice mix.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's good with the Cantal.
It's really good with the
Yeah.
Cantal. See, so
The
here's another
grapefruit is
opinion.
good with the Cantal. Try it. You might like it.
We actually did think it was a little too sweet.
Cantal is the very first cheese that we had.
The one that looked like a pizza slice. Man.
I cut that.
Yeah, she
And I thought about pizza the whole time. It was great.
We're
She
actually
wanted to put slices of the
pepperoni on top.
Mhm.
Or the saucisson rouge.
Saucisson rouge.
Saucisson rouge. That's what we were thinking. The entire time we're like, no, pizza.
pizza.
Yeah. I know. But I know. We're never full. We're
All
always
these cheeses also melt really nicely if you want to make a sandwich, a grilled cheese. So it's going to come up in the next class will be the grilled cheese sandwich class. And we're going to figure out what we're going to pair it with.
intrigued.
Most likely we're going to do beer again because grilled cheese and beer, what's better than that?
So there's going to be a live demo. You brew the sandwich.
Yeah, put a
Yeah,
panini right here.
We're going to put panini right here.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I think I'm curious.
Yeah.
We'll have your little
French
cooking
bread
instruction
too.
and a cooking class.
Yeah.
Cooking class.
Cooking class. Huh?
Could bring, yeah.
Just like in the Muppets.
Oh, the small
Smear
mini,
bread,
yeah.
smear bread.
The George Foreman. The George Foreman
That's
flavor.
awesome. I love that.
Come on, everybody loves the Swedish cook or Swedish chef.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the Muppets, come on. I grew up with that. Right?
I didn't.
You didn't?
With what? The Muppets?
The Muppets.
The
You didn't have
younger
the
ones
Muppets?
over here.
Oh.
No. I don't know. Maybe it's a.
I know
I
you
grew up
guys
with
had
Gullah
Big
Gullah
Bird.
Island. Okay, never mind. I grew up on an island. That's what we watch. Gullah Gullah Island. And
Gullah Gullah.
anyone knows what Gullah Gullah Island is? Right on.
Hmm.
If not, I don't know.
Yeah, I never watched the Muppets. All Spanish in the household. Never TV. Sorry.
No, come on.
No.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to go watch Smear bread. Swedish chef. Okay, tell us about what you like. The mixture between the Bornkaas, the Burgkopf, the Saucisson Rouge, or the Speck. Which one do you like? What is your taste? Okay, I like beer with quite a few, actually. I just had it with the Ramthaler. It's nice and refreshing. I had it with the Cantal, and I will be sampling it very quickly with the Hey Rebel. Okay.
Hey Rebel.
Hey.
Hey Rebel.
Hey Rebel. Is it still Hey Rebel for UNLV or is it?
No,
No, don't do that.
here we go. Look at this Hey Rebel.
Oh, just come over here.
Absolutely beautiful.
Sorry.
Okay. Hey Rebel is an Austrian cheese. It's produced in certain dairies, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. The Dreiländereck. It's actually 4 but we don't count Liechtenstein because you blink and you're past Liechtenstein.
Okay.
Okay.
I need to travel. I need to travel with you.
We're all going
I'm a
on
little
a trip.
jealous. Not only that, though, if you guys want a new gym, just come here because I don't know if you've been paying attention, but a lot of these cheeses are over 150 pounds just for a wheel. So
You gotta go bigger.
Yeah.
Come in, we give you a cheese tour.
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually went ahead and I printed it out for you.
Right there.
Okay, so you have Austria, you have Germany, and you have Switzerland over here. And right in between is this little tiny Liechtenstein, which is very similar to Monaco. We call it a Fürstentum. So you have a, what do you call them? Oh yeah, show it to them.
Yeah, well, I can't.
Oh,
I don't have
okay.
long arms.
Look at this. This is what we, can you guys see it? Sorry. This is what we cut the actually yesterday. So we're gonna post pictures of that. So Tirol, Vorarlberg, and Bayern.
Whoa.
You have all these countries in the.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's like
All right. So where did the Käserebellion come in?
I think you should have just came in front of that. It was kind of like a creepy hand just coming in front. Like, I don't know if anybody's really interested in the creepy hand, but
You know, what was that? Come on, what's the movie where the hand comes out?
Oh, that's
Oh, Adam's Family.
Adam's Family.
Family.
Here we go.
Adam's Family. The hand.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
Keep going.
So the Käserebellion, actually, it's basically the revolution of cheese. So in the old days in this region, there was we call the burn of cheese. And they literally paid their farmers almost nothing to go ahead and get the milk and then made cheese and used the cheese that these farmers made. And they sold it into Holland, into Austria, into Italy, into France, into Switzerland. So it was kind of really interesting. And then one day, the farmers just said, okay, good, wait a minute. This has to stop right here because, I mean, you guys are making all the money and we're getting nothing. So we're starving. So Käserebellion. Okay, so cheese revolution. That's basically what it is. And do you want me to do this?
Did you get? Oh, did
Sorry.
There we go. Oh, come on. Okay, so the cheese revolution dates back quite a few years. So 1860, when they started that, okay, to make the Hey Rebel. And the Hey Rebel, obviously, you have these beautiful little hay flowers that they collect in early spring and throughout the summer. And then they're making the cheese. It's going to be aged for about 20 to 30 days. And then they're washing it and then put the flowers in it. And then they're cryovacuuming it, meaning putting it in a plastic bag and sucking the air out and sealing it. So that's how this made. Okay, so the cheese dates back to 1860. In 1893, the farmers were slowly starting to rebel a little bit. And then finally in 1910, that's when they, right before the First World War, that's when they says, okay, good, guess what? We're going to start our own concurrence. Actually, 1893, when they started to build their own cheese making facility in Sennerei Sulzdorf-Feld. Okay, so Sulzdorf is the town, and Sennerei means cheese making facility. So there is 32 farmers that signed in originally to produce these cheeses. Now it's quite a few more, and it actually is a really nice, beautiful region. Where's the picture? I mean, look at this. Can you see that right there? So it's an original, the next one. Okay, that's the second cheese making facility. And I'm going to show you a quick picture. This would be the valley where this cheese is being produced. So you see the high mountains right over here. You see the nice green pastures in the upper mountain regions, and it just makes it a lot of fun to go and visit and hike around up there and see how it's produced. So you have the Sennerei Zellandzilla, you have the Sennerei Sulzberg, and you also have now lately the Sennerei Reutte. Okay, so all these pronunciations. So Kenny, you want to talk about the beer?
Yeah, so our final beer is actually called Almanac Love. They are a brewery out of Alameda currently right now. I actually ran into this brewery quite a few years ago, and they do some amazing sours and almost like what you would call farm-to-table sours, where they use Zinfandel grapes or strawberries and so on and so forth, and they do some amazing projects with just amazing sours. But they made this beautiful hazy IPA. So currently right now, the craze for a lot of people to drink IPAs is a hazy style, which is essentially a mixture of rolled oats going into the beer, but also, brewing in the beer. But the best way to describe it is when you are having a hazy beer, you could say it's almost like having orange juice with pulp. So it has a little bit of this sweetness to it, but just a little bit of dryness and floral characteristic, which is really nice. And for this month, they've actually done this can for Pride Month, which is even better. Kind of a really cool opportunity to showcase some love to different communities. And so super, super stoked about that. But yeah, typically great pairing for an IPA is spicy food. So if you're having food like Thai food, especially, or Mexican food with a little bit of spice, IPAs go a long way. And so this is a beautiful cheese actually to go along with it, because for me the cheese has a little bit more of an earth tone to it, which is great, and I think it's a great offset because the bitterness with the beer.
Yeah, and you definitely can eat the hay flowers, so don't be afraid of those. They're just very nice and tasty.
So I would like to add to that, tonight we're very lucky to taste all those cheeses made like in the old way. I mean, like for centuries, all the cows graze in a pasture. Some, especially the cheese made in the mountain, they do the transhumance. That means the herds is going up in the mountain during summertime. They make the cheese, I mean, right there, or they deliver the cheese to the nearest dairy to make those beautiful cheeses. But I mean, this is, I'm in heaven, you know. I love those kind of old cheese. You know, they're amazing. They're amazing, and so we're very lucky, and we're very lucky to pair it with beer tonight.
Yes,
It's been fun.
Yes, you know, doing something unusual, you know, instead of wine, beer is amazing.
well, for summertime.
yeah,
in particular.
let's do something different.
Exactly. Well, okay, the ladies,
Hey, finally.
here we go.
So if any of you guys have came in recently for lunch,
Yeah.
we normally put these pickled carrots in there.
They're ever changing. They're always changing depending on what we have,
Yeah,
you know, that we want to make.
but they're really good.
Yeah,
but
we
lately
make-
we've been putting these on everyone's sandwiches, And if you, oh, well, you can't try it, but we tried it and it's really good together with the Hey Rebel.
Yeah.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
We also said it would taste good with a quiche.
Yeah.
Pickles, of course. It doesn't have to be pickled carrots or maybe just like regular pickles. Also,
Any kind
like
of pickle, really.
melted over roasted potatoes, roasted veggies, stuff like that.
Yeah. Mainly because it is a little bit on the earthy side.
Very barnyard flavor.
It does kind of come across almost like a raclette. So that melted over some potatoes or some cauliflower would be really, really nice. So that's kind of where we went. As soon as we tried it, we wanted some potatoes. But I mean, well, we want potatoes all the time.
All the time. We want all
I
that
guess
stuff,
it-
you know.
Yeah.
German.
But yeah, the any kind of pickle. So if you have any kind of like a cornichon in your fridge or an olive, maybe go grab it and see how you like that. I know you guys already built kind of like your own little setup before we start.
Tristan said, "What are the pickles? What pickled in? What are the carrots pickled with?"
We actually took quite a few different vinegars that we had. We had some sherry vinegar. We had kind of cheating a little bit, but you guys have come in and had our pickles that we have on our sandwiches. It's a sweet spicy pickle that we have, and we stole that pickle liquid, a bit too much saffron, but it's still okay. And then mixed it all together, boiled it all up, and then poured it over our veggies, and that's pretty much pickles.
Which vinegar did you use? The
We
red
used-
wine or the champagne?
We use sherry,
That's interesting.
sherry vinegar, and then the
Butter chip pickles.
butter
Juice.
butter chip pickles. So delicious.
Really well put. Yeah.
But yeah. What else?
All right.
Oh yeah, the beer was.
What do you guys think in regards of the Hey Rebel? Tonight, like I said, it's very dear to me. All these producers, all these importers are people that I've known, and these cheesemakers that are just working really hard to bring you the best cheeses possible. And from animal some milk versus silage milk or fermented food, using green grasses to make sure that you have the best experience with these cheeses. I think it's deserves a round of applause for that, because it definitely is very important that we consider that.
Round of applause, everybody.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Whenever anybody in the shop needs a hand, he's always willing to give a hand.
Oh, that was a good one.
Okay, which salami do you prefer with the Hey Rebel? Is it the saucisson rouge or is it the speck? So let us know. What do you think?
What are we thinking?
Let's see what we have.
Yay.
Beef flour is so good.
Hey,
Oh yeah,
flour.
they're making several cheeses that are actually quite interesting. Everything is named after the history of the region. So they have the King Ludwig, they have the Beer Rebel, they have the Hey Rebel, they have the Plain Rebel that are just very tasty. And again, if you travel over there, have farm stands where you can actually walk in, you can see how the cheese is made, and you can actually pick up your cheese right there at the farm. A lot of the producers, even the Speck producer in Rekla and Sefner, they have in their facility where you can get the tour and you can see it, how it's produced, and then you can take and buy some of their products that are just absolutely incredible. I prefer the Speck and the saucisson rouge when I go camping and hiking, because it's a cheese, a nice hard cheese like that, a couple of grapes, a little bit of speck and salami makes for the perfect little getaway up to the mountains. The hike up on Mount Charleston, you can do the Bristlecone Trail. That is an easy 3.5 to 6 mile hike. You can go up 3.5 miles to where the turnoff is, or you can go the other way, which is 2.5 miles. The whole loop from where you parked your car to car is roughly about 6.87 miles. Right now, it's perfect. Even walking up and I would only recommend it. Go and park at the lower Bristlecone, hike up to the upper region where it goes off, and then go back into the forest, and you're coming out by the ski resort. And then, yes, have lunch at the ski resort and walk down to your car. So,
That was really good.
cheers.
I feel as though you can start making a package deal for like a hike and just call it Mike's
Yeah.
hike,
Yeah.
and then that's what they tell you, and then you get the spec and you get this and these are the or these are-
Come,
Oh,
if you guys come in and are telling us you guys are going to go on a hike for this, we will put everything for you in a little ice cooler with some ice. And by all means, please go on your little camping trip or your picnic or what you're doing. And
We got you covered.
We
Let
have-
us know,
we
and
have-
we can even get you one of the large pretzels to go with it, or the French baguettes.
yes,
Tristan said he's making blueberry preserve. What's up?
Who?
Tristan.
Tristan,
Wow, that sounds great.
that sounds wonderful. That
But yeah, I mean, for the cooler to go, beer and wine,
Little
come on.
picnic
Little
basket.
picnic basket,
I
hike
go.
basket. Yeah, take us with you. We got off at 6. Yeah, or in the morning.
Early
Before
morning.
10.
Yeah, before 10.
Bring us back before 10.
Yeah, bring us before 10.
pick
We'll,
up
we'll
your,
have lunch when we get back.
yeah, pick up your product before the day before.
Yeah.
And go hiking next day.
Or we'll
Okay.
meet you at your house with the,
Wow,
with the stuff,
personal
and
service.
we'll go there. yeah.
Gotta take us with you, though.
You have
Don't
to
leave
take
us
with
hanging.
Exactly.
It's a lot of people listening right now. They might actually take you up on that.
Oh yeah, it's
Well, actually, we need the hike.
Yeah.
We need the hike. We
it's a
eat too much
beautiful
cheese.
area up there,
Too
Mount
much
Charleston.
cheese.
I mean, we're so blessed living in Las Vegas. When you think about it, with what we have available,
Yeah.
being living in an international city with people coming from all over the world, we have the best restaurant food scene in Las Vegas of the rest of the United States. And I'm sorry, New York, incredible restaurants, absolutely phenomenal wine sommeliers, waitstaff, chefs available to you.
Beer tenders.
Beer tenders, here we
Yes.
go. So it's, and then being this close to either Lake Mead, or you can go up to Mount Charleston. So in wintertime, you can go skiing and then do water skiing, snow skiing in the morning, play golf at midday, and go water skiing in the afternoon on Lake Mead. It's absolutely an incredible area. International flights anywhere we want. And
There's a question. It says, "Do I eat the rind?"
yes,
Is that what he's asking?
absolutely.
On what?
Which one?
On which one?
Question,
Hey,
do I
Rebel?
eat
Yes.
the rind on all these cheeses? The Hey
No.
Rebel, I did not.
You,
I'm not sure about the other.
Yeah,
Well, the Hey Rebel he did, but the
Yes.
others he didn't.
you can absolutely eat the rind. I always leave it up to the individual. I prefer the flowers. Like I said, they have a really nice flavor, and it goes well. The rind is fresh and cleaned. So yes, you can eat it, and I'll prove it to you. Don't be afraid. Little penicillium is good for you. So it's fantastic, and the same with the Cantal. Cantal, this one in particular is still a very younger cheese, because we actually started what was happening, the shutdown. We actually took these large 8-pound wheels, broke them down into quarters, and actually started cryovacking these cheeses. So, and the cryovacking is actually stopping the maturing of the cheese. It's
Yes.
changed it a little bit. What do you think?
No, totally. I mean, I'm from France. I know the taste of the young one, the jeune, the entre-deux, and the vieux. I mean, the old one. So this one is just perfect. I mean, it's I would say an entre-deux. I mean, the young one is more creamy and very, very mild. So my preference goes to the entre-deux because it's got more flavor. It's still very creamy, and it's for me it's the best one.
Kenny, what do you think about the beer pairings we had with the cheeses?
Yeah, worked out personally. I think my favorite though is probably the first one.
The slice.
one.
Pizza slice.
That's the first
Pizza
one.
slice.
I think that's definitely my favorite for sure. I don't, but it's been fun because I've
What
never.
beer?
Oh, so that was with the Riesdorf Kolsch. Yeah, I think all of them worked out great. To be
Yeah,
honest
but-
with you.
Yeah, but I think the one with the grapefruit works very well too with the Cantal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
I think
that is true.
the fruitiness
Yes.
and the beer itself
Yes.
breaks down a little bit of the sweetness of the
Yes.
cheese.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's a very nice combination.
Yeah. I mean, that was my preference, but.
Please get back to us next time you come into the shop and you tell us. Okay, let us know. Talk to Caroline, talk to Maritza, talk to Janelle, talk to Marissa. Okay,
There's a question, something about
Do you have recommendations or cheeses similar to the Ramtaler because it was such a phenomenal cheese?
We
So
have a
rich.
lot.
Damn it.
actually, you are lucky
Yeah,
because
you are.
we brought in 2 wheels of Ramtaler. Trust me, we have plenty. We have
Yes,
about
yeah.
180 pounds left.
Big.
But we brought 2 wheels in. We brought only one of the born cast, but again, we still have 180 pounds, 190 pounds left. We also have from Gourmino in the Ramtaler, we have the Ureich. We have about 4 different cheeses right now from Gourmino. I actually was approached by Gourmino a while back on bringing in these cheeses. And yes, we did. So Gourmino, phenomenal job bringing these small producers together and bringing these cheeses over here. They're just incredible. And they're all raw milk, summer milk cheeses, no silage, no fermented food, okay, for these cattle or these cows, and it really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
You
Totally.
can definitely taste the terroir.
Yeah.
Okay, you can taste the beautiful flowers, the spring grasses. Terroir. Okay,
So
Caroline.
I would say the terroir is, the place that the cows are grazing on. For me, I would say the best explanation I could give you is if you take a Gruyere or if you take a Comté, so it's exactly the same process to make the cheese, but if you taste side to side the Gruyere and the Comté, it's a totally different cheese.
Oh yeah.
It's a totally different cheese. I mean, one is more nutty. I would say the Gruyere for me is more nutty, and the Comté is more fruity. But even if you taste, a Comté from summer milk, a Comté from winter milk, is going to be different. So I would say in those cheeses, there's no consistency, and this is what we are looking for, because it's the cow, it's the milk, it's everything. It's all the the process, the milk, the passion, and everything that we have and make those cheese so unique.
What's wonderful about working with these products, distributors as chefs, is taste the uniqueness of the terroir. Okay, the region where this particular cheese is produced. It's just like with beer. Okay, you have different beers, you have different influences, you have different styles. And for me as a former chef, using even your tomatoes, just taste a tomato that is grown here in Las Vegas, a tomato that is grown up in Reno, or take a tomato that is grown up in Cedar City, Utah. Okay, the flavor of the tomato, it's impacted by the sun, the rain, the weather condition.
The soil.
What is the temperature, the soil? Okay, all these products are part of the terroir. Okay, and I think that what's definitely makes these cheeses so unique.
Yeah.
Just like the beer. I mean, you look at the different hops that is being produced in the different regions or the different grains that they're using to make beer. I mean, Kenny, what do you?
I mean, it's very similar. I think the best way to describe hops is almost similar to there's a lot of varietals that are grown across, grown in the world. And so definitely you'll get different flavor components. Now there's hybrids, which is really interesting because you're getting different fruit components or flower components, all driven by, what they're trying to create as a flavor. It's kind of fun, actually. I mean, beer, I think, is one of the few things you can say is super versatile when you do pairings. I know that, I have a wine background and a beer background, and I almost, to a certain degree, lean towards beer sometimes with more versatility, because you can have a couple different beers, and they really can accentuate your food. Sometimes a little bit more than wine. I don't want to venture too far out there like that, but it definitely helps. And these are perfect examples of how typically most people would probably be drinking wine tonight with these cheeses and charcuterie, but you've all joined us to have some beer, and I hope this kind of opens your eyes to not only our local brewery, Able Baker, but different breweries out there that you should try other beers.
Talk a little bit about your background. How did you get started getting into the wines and the beers?
So I moved to Vegas originally in December 2002. I actually used to cook. So I cooked for Bradley Ogden in California, then came here, worked at Picasso and Le Cirque. And during my time at all three restaurants, I was lucky enough to have a wine director, Sam, that wanted to encourage education. So I was able to learn new things. Looks like someone recognizes me from Firestone. I did work for Firestone for 5.5 years. But yeah, so kind of been a fun journey of all senses in terms of I kind of wanted to round myself out, and I was very, very lucky, to say the least, to be able to learn about everything and have fun with it. And then not only that, meeting people like Michael and a bunch of other chefs that all shop here, and even we all support each other, and it's all about supporting the local community and the local businesses, especially now more than ever. There's just so many beautiful restaurants. It's a lot of beautiful places that I hope locals will see more on, especially with something like this where it's hidden, but more and more people are finding it.
Yeah, I think definitely, again, coming back to Las Vegas, the incredible restaurants, the scene off the strip, on the strip. I mean, I got started in Las Vegas, but please visit your restaurants off the strip. There's some incredible restaurants. We're looking forward to, of course, obviously, Esther's Kitchen. We can't wait for Main Street Provisions to open up. Vincent Rotello with Good Pie right there on Main Street. Able Brewing, I'm sorry. You have then, when you go up on Spring Mountain into Chinatown, you have Sparrow and Wolf, you have Modeo, you have District 1. It's endless. You have Locale, you have Table 34, you have Nick over at Gaetano's. These are all incredible restaurant owners, chefs, sommeliers. You have Ferraro's over on Paradise. Please make sure you support your local restaurants. These people are absolutely incredible. I've been very fortunate that many of them are customers of ours for the last 21 years. And even Bradley Ogden, when Bradley Ogden opened up at Caesars, it was a lot of fun for me walking in there in me, shorts and camo Crocs. Back then I used to do hiking boots all the time. And but that's me. Sorry. Cheers. I all love you. But that's how I got started. And yes, absolutely, please support all these incredible restaurants. Metro Pizza, Pizzeria Manzu, Gio and family. Just absolutely incredible. So, Kenny, cheers to you.
Prost.
Cheers.
We say Prost in Germany. Caroline,
Santé, yeah.
Santé.
Santé.
Okay. And then, okay,
Yeah.
what do we call it in Philippines?
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, we just say cheers.
And Mexico, salud.
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 Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, wait, we're not finished. We're not finished. We're not finished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. They
So
have their 2 minutes of what?
2 minutes of fame. That's all we
Yeah,
get.
that's all we get.
So Michael Scully asked, "How did we get into the cheese world?" For me, I was a barista before I came here. My brother is an upcoming chef, I guess. Yeah, and he shops here a lot, and he became really good friends with Michael. And Michael told him that he needed help. So the next day I came and got an interview, and then I came and starred, and then that's how I came here. And I've been here for over a year now, year and a half, and I just learned cheese just working here. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot to learn, but it's fun. You get to eat cheese all day.
Yeah, you do.
And
I know.
Get to
You
make
see our
some-
cheeks?
you see our cheese.
You can see the cheese.
Oh, and Tristan, we open at 10.
Look, our
Don't be
spare
late. Your
tires
shift
still.
starts at 10.
Yeah, so Monday through Friday, usually Monday through Friday, unless today, but Monday through Friday, 10 till 6
Except
p.m.
on cheese class because we close at 4:30.
Yeah. Cheese class will close at 4:30, so every other Thursday.
So we can spend more time with you.
Exactly, and we can,
Mhm.
you know.
Don't y'all feel special. Okay, how did you get in the cheese world?
Cooking on the ship everywhere, and then meeting this guy and wanting to open up my own cheese shop. I asked for help from Michael, and he took me in like a big papa bear. that
We're
he
all
is.
family here.
And he's like, "Come over here. I'll show you. We'll show you. We'll open up something." And we're still in the process, but
Here we go.
we're learning. We can't open without learning and knowing more.
Hey,
And right
these cheese classes teach us
Yes.
as much as it teaches you.
Yep.
So we learn along the way all
Mhm.
together.
But not one day goes by without us learning something.
Mhm.
And even Caroline, I'm sure she's an expert, but she's still learning every day. And once you stop learning, that you need to
Don't ever stop.
don't ever stop learning. There's
Don't
always
ever
something to
stop.
learn.
Yep.
Always.
True
Always.
that. Just a couple of things going on. Tomorrow is Friday family meal. We are doing
A lobster roll.
lobster roll.
Lobster roll.
And then
Kinda just popped out, but
yeah,
it's there.
one of our regulars
One of our regulars
requested
wanted
that, so that's what we're doing tomorrow. We do have a couple events, or not events, but we have 4th of July coming up. If you're looking for a 4th of July board, we got you covered. What else?
With the July boards coming up. What else?
I forgot already.
I don't know. Come join us for lunch. Come have a little.
And we're still
Little
doing pretzel
chit-chat.
boards, so if you're looking for a pretzel board, don't be scared to ask. We got you
How
all
about
day.
pretzels? Or even if you just want a pretzel, like we should have had one tonight, but we didn't. We
Yeah,
still
if you
have
just want a ginormous pretzel, come through.
yeah, pretzel, beer, wine. We got you.
hmm
We got you covered even
Yeah.
for your happy hour.
Even before you.
When are you happy? We make the hour.
There you go.
Wow, that's pretty good. I
Yeah,
All right.
can't top that.
All right, everybody.
thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Been
Thank
fun.
you, everybody,
Thank
for
you.
being
all.
part of this. Kenny, it's,
Appreciate it.
thank you so much, and we see you soon again. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of our extended family. Thank you. Yes, Maritza. How many years I know you now? Holy
10
smokes.
plus
10, 12.
12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
First time I've seen her, she was that fiery little girl that had
She
that.
still is fiery.
Oh yeah, trust me, she is.
She's
Who
still
has
little.
that spunk about life and about learning. She worked for some incredible chefs, from Hubert Keller to
Robuchon, Mr. Charlie Palmer, who else?
so.
There's a lot.
LV Food Junkie.
Oh, yeah.
Ayo.
I had my own little pop-up. A lot of you guys remember me, maybe, hopefully, over at Banger Brewing. I know Victoria Wicks. You remember me. I know you do. And, Victoria. I was going to bring my drinking buddy, and I forgot him. So on the next beer class, I'll bring my drinking buddy.
There we go.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about, but next one you'll know. And if you don't know, ask me. I'll bring them in.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
cheers to you.
Incognito.
Thank you for joining
Thank
us on a
you.
Thursday night. And we'll see you soon again
Bye.
here in person and maybe even on a class here right at the shop. So thank you so
Good shot
much.
right there, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Look at this.
We
We're all
look good.
smiling.
Ayo.
Looks really good. I don't know what to say.
I don't
Looking
either.
bunch of-
What happened? Look at
Thank you
this.
so much. Have a good night.
Bye,
We'll see you
guys.
soon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.